everyone, welcome back to Let's Talk. My name is John, and today we're here to talk about Sony Pictures Classics 30th Anniversary 4K Blu-ray set, and more specifically, we're going to be talking about the fourth film in that set, Run Lola Run. But before we dive into that review, if you are a fan of 4K Blu-ray reviews, movie reviews, some tech and game reviews along the way, and maybe you're a fan of podcasts, we do all that here on the channel, and nothing would help us out more than by you liking this video and subscribing to the channel. So Run Lola Run was released in 1998. It's a German thriller directed by Tom Tykwer, and it stars Franka Potente in the leading role of Lola. And this film actually is split up into 3 parts. It's structured very uniquely. I was actually very surprised. I went in this only reading the synopsis for the film. I had no idea what I was getting into. And man, I was really surprised. It's basically kind of like structured like The Last Duel from a couple years ago by Ridley Scott, or the ending of Clue, where we get to see all the endings. It's just structured through an entire 80-minute film where we get to see the same scenario 3 times. And in this case, Lola's boyfriend, played by Maurice Blebetru, I know I'm saying that name wrong and I'm sorry. He gets himself in a little bit of a bind because he had to get $100 grand for his bosses. He got that $100,000. He was just waiting for Lola to pick him up. Unfortunately, her moped gets stolen, so he's definitely not the sharpest tool in the shed. So unfortunately, he gets on a train. In 1998, cell phones weren't a common thing, so he had no way to reach Lola. She was supposed to pick him up, and he got like, well, where is she? So he took off, got on the subway, and unfortunately, because he's not the smartest guy, he leaves his bag with all the money on that train, and he can't get back on, and a homeless guy ends up walking off with it, and now he's screwed. He's got 20 minutes to get his boss the money, who I'm assuming is pretty high level, and he's going to be very upset. So he knows what's going to happen in 20 minutes if he doesn't get $100 grand. And that means that his brains are going to be splattered just everywhere. So Lola's like, I'll figure it out. I'll figure it out. Just wait there for me. And he's like, if you don't get here in 20 minutes, I'm walking into the supermarket. They probably got $100 grand. And I'll solve all our problems. She's like, no, don't do that. It's not going to work out. So she just starts running. She starts running to him. She's got no car. She's not going to get there fast enough. She's got to find $100 grand all in 20 minutes. And this movie is showing what little things change the outcome of the entire world. Not just our characters of Lola and Manny, but even like people in the movie that she just interacts with or even accidentally runs into. Like, we see what would happen if she didn't run into the person, like how their lives all change, are affected by one little thing. And you know, this is something that we deal with a lot now in films, especially with multiverses, how one little thing could just send everything on a completely different path. And this movie shows you what little things change and help to affect the entire outcome. I don't want to spoil this because, like I said, I had no idea what I was getting into. I didn't even know about the structure of this film going into it. So I was like, oh, it's a quick 80 minutes. And then she gets, you know, this is a complete spoiler. So if you don't want to watch anything else and you just want to see the 4K Blu-ray review, that time code will be in the description below. But I was shocked when about 30 minutes into the movie, she gets shot in the chest. I'm like, is she going to die? Are we going to make Manny the main character? Is that what's about to happen? Like, was I completely fooled? But no. What happens is that's the first scenario. If everything had gone that way, she ends up dying. And then in the second scenario, Manny ends up dying. And then obviously in the third scenario, we get our big grand happy ending where the two get to live their life. Everything worked out. And they also happen to be $100 grand richer because apparently Lola's got some pretty good luck. At least in the third scenario, where she can win a ton of money in a casino, because I can tell you flat out from me, I've played a lot of roulette when I've been to Vegas, and we don't walk away that happy. And this movie's probably most known for its kinetic energy and pacing and its editing. This is edited just incredibly, honestly. I'm surprised that this movie isn't talked about in the editing field more than it should be, because it's incredible. You know, we got animated sequences in here. We got sequences where the camera is just moving around. We got split screens. We even got 3 screens where like the clock will kind of come up, down from the bottom and lift all the way up, and we'll see how much time is going on. And we see what Lola's doing. We see what Manny's doing. We see, you know, every time she's running in the street, the camera's never still. It's just moving with her. It's, you know, we never put the camera down. He's cutting between what other people are doing. He's cutting between just inanimate objects. Just incredibly shot film. It was gorgeous, but that editing really was phenomenal. Now, a lot of people were telling me about the score of this film, and this just isn't my type of music. I'm not really into that electronic techno kind of deal. So, you know, I was, you know, not really too wrapped up in the score, but the score works perfectly for this type of film, and I couldn't imagine a different score in it. Even if it's not my personal favorite, I still really enjoyed the film in general, and I don't think you can replace that score. I think the score they got for this film fits the actual film perfectly. And Lola, the actress who plays Lola, just did an incredible job. And plus, you know, she's a beautiful woman, very cute. It's funny because I read this on Wikipedia right before I came on here. I was just kind of going through all my notes and just kind of trying to gather some information. And a lot of people have compared her to Tomb Raider. And I was thinking the whole time I was watching this, I'm like, yeah, that does look like Lara Croft. I guess I wasn't the only one. I mean, given I just got to this movie 25 years after everybody else. But yeah, I could definitely see Tomb Raider. I played a lot of Tomb Raider as a kid, and I could see that maybe this was inspired by her because Tomb Raider came out first, but I'm not 100% sure. But that outfit definitely makes a lot of sense. And plus, she's got to be in incredible shape. She's running a lot. I would have been winded just getting down those stairs. This is considered an experimental film, and I really think they did an incredible job. I could see why this was chosen to be one of the 11 pictures to show you what Sony Pictures Classics has done throughout their entire history, because this is just a very unique film. It never got nominated for many awards. I know it won the Golden Lion, but at the Academy Awards, it didn't even make the finalists for Best International Films, or I guess at the time, I think it was Best Foreign Films, which is just unbelievable. I would imagine that this probably should have won. Just from a technical standpoint, this is an incredible film, but even so, like, just spending 20-minute intervals with these characters, or a little more than 20 minutes on screen, you know, you really start to care about these characters. I really did care about Lola and Manny and what they were doing, given, you know, they're not doing the best of things. But then again, you know, everyone operates in that moral gray area, and who knows what their struggles are. I ended up caring about them. I didn't want to see one of them die. I was happy that in the end they ended up riding off into the sunset, to say, you know, Lola's got a real piece of shit dad, so, you know, I didn't want to see her stay with him. I think she found the guy that she wants to be with. So overall, from a film standpoint, even if you don't want to grab this 4K Blu-ray in this set, or you don't want to grab the set at all, I still think you should probably check this film out, especially if you're a fan of cinema. You're going to want to see this incredible editing. I mean, we have seen editing like this now in 2023, especially with Everything Everywhere All at Once. This reminded me of that, with its kinetic pacing and its kinetic editing. You know, that takes so much time, and this is the movie. I wouldn't be shocked if the Daniels have seen this movie and were inspired by it for Everything Everywhere All at Once. It's just that good. It's definitely a great movie. I am still surprised at how much I actually enjoyed this movie. I mean, it's paced phenomenally. You're never bored throughout, so definitely check this one out if you haven't seen it. So we're here today to talk about the fourth 4K Blu-ray in our Sony Pictures Classics 30th Anniversary set. So again, just like all the other ones, they're all in this nice, really hard box. You flip it open like this, which I gotta admit, doing this now, it kind of is a little bit annoying. You gotta take the whole thing off your shelf, and, you know, these things, they get stuck on something. You can drop the whole box, which I've already done 3 times. So you come over here, you pull out Run Lola Run, close this beauty up. We'll put that over there. You grab your Run Lola Run with your Sony Pictures Classics slipcover on here, which like I said in all the other ones, I really do love what they're doing with these slipcovers. They're unique, and they're only unique to this set. So you get that art on the front and on the back. No stats again. You just get that, you know, some 3 pictures, some quotes from critics and everything on there. When you take it off, you get the original movie poster, which again, awesome. I love that they do a different artwork on the slipcover that they do on the actual 4K Blu-ray. Little things like that are really something for the collector and make it extra and worth more to the consumer. Then on the back, this is your regular standard 4K, and if this ever comes to 4K on its own, this is probably what it'll look like. So you get your stats on the back. It probably won't have that slipcover on it. So if you do have this box set, it's really nice that you get that extra slipcover, because I imagine in the future that probably won't exist. When you pop it open, you get individual disc art on the disc. Only a 4K disc, just like all the others. No Blu-ray disc, and all your extras are going to be on that 4K disc. And just like all the others, you know, the extras are really hit or miss. I would say that this and Orlando had the most extras, and definitely the most extras that are most interesting to me. There's a making of on this, just like with Orlando, and I really think that those are my favorites. But you also get 2 audio commentary tracks with the director and the star. I think that that's awesome. Like, you know, honestly, they didn't have to put all that on these discs. I truly expected all these discs to have no extras on them. Now, these aren't new extras, I'm sure. These are all recycled extras from previous releases, because this did have a 2008 Blu-ray release. So, I mean, this is the biggest upgrade we've had in, what's it been, 15 years? But still, to get all those extras on here, I really didn't expect them to do that. That's literally completely just an extra, because I figured we would just get the 4K discs in this box set, especially at that price. I didn't think they would include them, so I really do appreciate the fact that they included all these extras and they're all on that one 4K disc. That's really awesome. Now, from a visual standpoint, again, like I've been saying throughout this entire thing, These visuals are stunning. This was no different. This is a 5 out of 5, 10 out of 10 visual showpiece. Now, throughout this film, they do cut to animation. They use some lower grade cameras. It cuts to black and white. Now, this stuff is all intentional. That's all part of the editing. It's all part of the filming that they were going for. So those scenes, it's gonna look lower quality, but that's 100% intentional. Now, when they're just using their regular cameras, the 4K, the Dolby Vision, yep, it's got Dolby Vision on it, HDR10, it's all on this disc. It all just makes the visuals just look amazing. Now, this is a pretty colorful movie. Obviously, Lola's hair's red, she's wearing like green pants, and all that stuff is just gonna pop off your screen because it's gonna look so vivid and so dynamic. The city that they're in, you know, it's a little flat at points, but that's just because of the design. It's not because of the disc. You know, there's one moment when they're in the city and you could just see something in the background. It's pink and like it just pops off your screen, like, you know, you just didn't expect it. And again, that's just the Dolby Vision doing work, because your eyes would have never ever been drawn to that until the Dolby Vision just made that stick out in the crowd. Every single one of these discs that I put in from this set, I have actually just been blown away visually. You know, this is really just a showpiece of what Sony's technology is and what they can do. They just know how to do everything in this visual department to like the highest degree. They are just doing incredible work. That's why we always say out of the big studios, you know, Warner Brothers, Paramount, and Sony usually does the best work when it comes to 4K transfers. They're almost on levels visually with a lot of the boutique labels such as Arrow Video, Vinegar Syndrome, or Criterion. In some cases, Sony actually does better work than them because they just have a good grasp on the visual technology and they just put out some incredible stuff, and this is just no different. Again, I'm just going to be echoing things that I said in the previous videos. Amazing visuals. Now, the biggest upgrade that I was surprised, because this is actually a different audio track that were on the previous Blu-ray, because that previous Blu-ray, if I'm correct, had a Dolby 5.1 on it. Now, this has a DTS HD 5.1 on it, and it's in 3 different languages, so you can listen to it with dubs. But, you know, if you want to choose it and watch it with subtitles, that's your choice. But you can watch it with a dub. Not the greatest of dubs. I'm not going to sit here and lie to you. So it might be best to just watch it with subtitles. I know some people, it really depends on how you're feeling, or if you know, some people want to just pay attention to the visuals. And this is a very visually stimulating movie. So maybe, you know, you want to throw that dub on because, you know, yes, the dialogue is important, but it's not the most important thing to this film. But either track that you choose, whatever language, it sounds great. I mean, just really good work. Now, obviously, a Dolby Atmos track probably would have been better, but, you know, in the previous 3 that I've reviewed so far, I think 2 of them had mono tracks. So, you know, this is a pretty big upgrade, and I think this is the only one that they actually went in and upgraded the audio. For the most part, they had just been transferring the audio from their previous releases, but they did a good job on this DTS track. I really thought it was great. You know, this is a movie that really revolves around the music, so you're gonna really want that to sound as good as it possibly can, and they did a great job of that. They knew what they were doing. They knew this is the type of movie that the audio track had to be good, because the audio plays such a big part in the film. Most films, especially like we said with the Celluloid Closet, that's a documentary, so that's more about the dialogue being clear. But this film, you want the sound effects to be as clear as day. You know, there are some gunshots throughout this, so you're going to want to hear that coming from your ears. You got that music score playing throughout. You're going to want to hear that because that's all part of the film. That's all to help you get immersed in the film, and they did a phenomenal job on that. So from the audio standpoint, I was blown away actually by how good this track is. Is it the best track I've ever heard? Absolutely not. There's some great Dolby Atmos tracks out there. There's even some better DTS tracks out there, but for a track that I didn't expect to be as good as it was, I was definitely pleasantly surprised at how good this audio track was. So overall, I'm definitely very happy with this release. You know, this is the 4th one in, and so far I'm 4 for 4. We still have 7 movies to go in this box set, but really they have just been all great. They're all visual showpieces for Sony. This set so far has been worth the money that I paid for it. Actually, it was a gift, so I didn't pay anything. So far, I'm very happy with this. I'm loving it. And also, as a cinema fan, it's just awesome that I'm finding all these movies that I've never seen before. Between this and Orlando, like, these are movies that are going to go on my permanent rotation every couple of years. I'm going to check these out. Like, I've been itching to watch Orlando again. That one really stuck with me. It really surprised me at how much that movie stuck with me. And I never would have saw it if it wasn't for this Sony Pictures set. So far, it's a recommendation, but we haven't reached the end yet. So we'll see how it is, how the other 7 movies are in this set. And that's what we'll do in future videos. But what would I rate this? Well, overall, I'm really happy with this. I'm gonna actually give this one a 9 out of 10. I think so far this might be the best overall as far as a disc goes. It's not my favorite film in the set so far, but as far as the disc itself goes, I think they put the most effort to this point into this disc from a visual and audio standpoint, and the extras are pretty good. So it's still just a phenomenal disc. So right now I'm just going to give this a 9 out of 10. I'm only going to take a little bit of points off just because it would have been cool to get an Atmos track. And like I said, the extras are all recycled, so it's nothing new. So we'll take 1 point off for that. We'll give this a solid 9 out of 10. I think it's definitely something. If it ever comes to a standalone 4K release, I think it'll be worth your money then. And some of you may know, but for those who don't, it's Friday here on the channel, and every single Friday we have a digital code giveaway. So every Friday you come to this video, whatever video it is on Friday, we're going to ask you guys 2 digital code giveaway questions. All you have to do is answer one of those in the comments section below, and you are entered into our giveaway. And if you do enter into the giveaway, you come back to Monday's video, I put your name on a magic wheel, maybe Matt will, and we spin that wheel twice, we pick 2 winners, and those 2 winners have their choice of a digital code that you've seen on your screen before you today. But what are this week's 2 digital code giveaway questions? Tomorrow we're going to have a review on the channel, and actually it just came out today on Netflix for the movie You People, starring Eddie Murphy and Jonah Hill. So I wanted to ask you guys, what is your favorite Eddie Murphy movie? You know, a lot of people have a lot of different movies that they like from Eddie Murphy. I won't reveal what my favorite is until Monday. So I wanted to ask you guys, what is your favorite Eddie Murphy movie? And then I figured, since we're on Eddie Murphy, why don't we ask about the other star of that movie? What is your favorite Jonah Hill movie? I know I'm a big fan of both of these actors. I think they've done phenomenal work. I just rewatched The Nutty Professor last week, and that movie still holds up to this day. I mean, Jesus Christ, what a movie. It's just, Eddie Murphy really is underappreciated for his work as the Nutty Professor because the amount of roles he had to play in that. Even he has said it himself, you know, he got an Academy Award nomination and he's just really just face acting, but for all the work where he's acting against tennis balls in the Nutty Professor, that doesn't get enough appreciation for how difficult that is, and I completely agree. So anyway guys, if you want to enter into our digital code giveaway, that's how you do it. Let us know what your answers are to those questions in the comment section below. Me and Matt look forward to talking with you guys all weekend about what your favorite Eddie Murphy and Jonah Hill movie are, and then you guys come back to Monday's video and we'll see which one of you guys are the lucky winners. And as always guys, nothing helps out the channel more than by you liking this video, subscribing to the channel, and subscribing to those podcasts that we have available now. And you know, if you could find it in your heart, rate that bad boy 5 stars. It really does help Apple to like push the podcast to the top of the charts, and that would really help the channel out so much. So if you could do that, and then after you do that, why don't you tell all your friends about us, because nothing is more helpful than telling all your friends.